What up, guys? Uncle Rhino here. How are you doing, nephews? I hope you have a beautiful Christmas. If I don't talk to you before then, or if you're Jewish, you celebrate Hanukkah, all that good stuff. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Easter, St. Patty's Day, all that bullshit. Anyways, let's get into the gameplay. Now, as most of you know, I don't normally play servers that aren't vanilla. I'm a huge fan of Rust Vanilla because Rust Vanilla is where it's at. But if you decide, you say, you know what? Fuck Rust Vanilla. I want to play something else, man. I got 1,000 hours in Rust and I'm starting to get bored. It's okay, nephew. I'm right there with you. Now, this Battlefield mod is essentially a collection of a bunch of other mods. Quicker gather, higher loot drops and dungeons and airdrops and all sorts of stuff. You spawn with gear, there's kits, you can teleport home, all sorts of things that compile together to make this Battlefield Rust. And it is a lot of fucking fun, dude. It is not only fun, but it's a great way to get your aim up and just get your solo play up. So let's talk about Rust. This is something that I've been meaning to talk about on this channel for a very long time. We've never seen anything like this, okay, ever in the genre. If you are a fan of Arma 2 Dayz, if you are a fan of Dayz Standalone, if you're a fan of any of the Arma 3 mods that I've played on this channel that are survival-based, this is something that I think needs to be talked about, and it's taken me a while for a number of reasons. The first reason is it's been a long time since I've trusted developer and trusted a company who's making a game in the survival genre. And I blame a lot of that to pretty much everybody else in the genre. Like, pretty much everybody else is guilty except this company, Facepunch. And part of the reason is, you see War Z, you see even Dayz Standalone. There's just been a lot of garbage in this whole genre. It's just been like just a whole lot of garbage surrounding it. And I'm just so used to it that it's hard for me. It was hard for me to trust these guys that they're doing not only the game right, but their community right. And I am incredibly overwhelmed with how fucking awesome Facepunch is and how involved they are with their communities, not only on the forums, but their community updates, and just their overall attitude towards their game and towards where they want to take it. It's just something we've never seen. So I'm going to be comparing Rust to a few different games today. And you know what? If you're one of those guys that's like, it's nothing like this game. Well, fuck you, okay? Shut up. Listen to what I have to say, because this isn't about just the game that I'm comparing it to. This is about the whole genre, okay? Because games in this genre, there's only going to be more and more of them. And I really hope that people who are making games in this genre take a good hard look at their game and look at what Facepunch and Rust is doing, because you guys ain't fucking cutting it. H1Z1, you're not cutting it. Dayz Standalone, you're not fucking cutting it. All right, I'm sorry, you're not. I'm sure you guys have good intentions. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so for the most part, people who play these games are attracted for a number of reasons. I think myself, I'm attracted because of the real-world anxiety that you get when you're being shot at. Nothing compares. And I'm talking about, like Arma 2 Dayz and even Dayz Standalone, that anxiety feeling like, oh shit, like I'm going to get domed. Like I'm going to lose all my shit that I just spent 3 hours collecting. Your heart starts beating. You get this really epic feeling of anxiety and pressure and adrenaline all compiled into one. And I think that's what interests a lot of people. At least that's what interests me for this genre. And I think Arma 2 Dayz really hallmarked that whole feeling, because there really wasn't anything like it. I mean, sure, I guess if you're like, if like you're a schizophrenic who, jumps at every time he sees a spider, I guess if you played Call of Duty, you'd get that kind of like terrifying feeling every time you got killed, like fall over in your chair or something. But the majority of us don't get spooked that easy. So it's really cool to see this genre start to kind of develop. And so let's look at Rust, let's look at Dayz, let's look at H1Z1. And I just kind of want to talk about what Rust is doing that these other guys aren't. Now, Dayz Standalone, crazy buggy, all of its shortcomings. I had a lot of fun in it. At this point, it's so fucking buggy that I can't play it personally. It's just too buggy. there's so many things lacking that I can't fucking accept it, man. Like, a lot of people in the genre are diehard fans. I appreciate their loyalty, but at the end of the day, it fucking sucks. Okay, I'm sorry, it does. And anybody who says different is, they're too involved in the game to see different. Much love to your loyalty to the brand, loyalty to the game. But personally, I think it sucks. And it sucks for a lot of reasons. We're not going to get into it. It has a lot of great points to it without, selling it short. It was, the first in its genre, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, it's crazy buggy. The updates are kind of all over the fucking place. Oh, we removed zombies. Oh, we broke zombies. Oh, we fixed zombies. Oh, we added an MP5. Like, there's no real fucking logic or reasoning to their timeline. And it's just something that from a guy who came from Arma 2 Dayz, I just can't get into it anymore. And that sucks. That breaks my heart because I had a lot of hope for Dayz standalone, and it kind of just plopped, to be honest. For me personally, and I don't know how you measure the success of a game to your community. If you measure the success of a game to your community by how many units sold, I guess you could say Dayz was very successful as far as being a good game and being, what a lot of people expected, and not only just expected, but just normal gameplay that you would expect in a game that's been so far developed. It's just crazy to see where it's at, and that sucks. And I don't want to bash Dayz any more than I already have, and it sucks that it is what it is. But one of the great things, one of the complimentary things that we have is, even though that Dayz kind of hallmarked that feeling that, oh my God, I'm being fucking shot at, you have Rust, where you don't get those. I don't think you get those same kind of like really anxiety feelings under really specific circumstances. I think you do. If you're early game Rust and you just got your first AK and you don't have the blueprints, you definitely have this feeling of like, fuck, dude, this is the golden AK. If I lose this, like, I am screwed. Like, I will never, I can't get this again ever. It just seems. It's very, very circumstantial in Rust when and how you get these moments when you're being raided. When you're being raided early game Rust and you hear beep, beep, beep. Not even early game, mid game, late game. These raids are really, they induce this anxiety and pressure and adrenaline, all these feelings that you get. And it's great, man. It's absolutely awesome. And so aside from the gameplay mechanics and what makes these games awesome, in H1Z1, all due respect, I played it early access, I played it alpha, whatever, pre-alpha, little thing, I saw it, and it's just not all that to me. I don't get any of those feelings. It's just another survival game trying to capture those feelings. If anything, when I think of H1Z1, I think of Battle Royale, because that is where H1Z1 is at. Non-Battle Royale is kind of a joke. Like, there's no real like anxiety and pressure and adrenaline that you experience. And I don't know how to capture that. I'm not a dev, and so that kind of sucks because a lot of people were expecting, like, oh, 3,000 player server, it's going to be fucking epic, and like, it's just not there, man. And one of the things that I think that sets Rust aside from all of these other games in the genre, alongside with, all the different aspects of the game that they've updated, game-changing updates, dungeons, helicopter, active helicopters that pursue players, all of these major updates that have just changed the game completely, mining quarries, pump jacks, all of this stuff has one factor that actually two factors that I think are really important to make these work. One of them is complete transparency as far as their roadmap to where they're taking this game, why they're taking it. I've never seen anything in a dev blog before where we've seen the concept artists put the 3D modeler to practice over to the animator and then finally implemented in the game. You get to see all stages of the design completely, and there's reasoning behind it. They talk about why they want to add it. They talk about where they want to go with it, why they're going with it, why they're removing stuff, and you just don't see that in the genre. You don't see that transparency. And not only the transparency, but the second thing is the involvement with the community. The tremendous amount of involvement that the Facepunch devs have is just incredible. You see Facepunch devs on the Reddit responding to questions. You see them on the forums. You see them in Twitch streams. You see them all over the place. Gary himself responds to my emails. It's just something you don't see at all. You know, normally you got to go through a PR guy or, you know, something like that. And these guys are just regular dudes making a fucking epic game. And everybody's a regular dude, but for the most part, it feels like some companies try to isolate themselves from their community a little bit more than others. And it doesn't feel like that at all with these guys. It feels like they're very open and they're very honest about it. And that's what's making Rust so awesome. And I didn't want to turn this thing into a huge, you know, debate over which game is better. If you love your game, man, I respect your loyalty. But give Rust a chance, boys. If you've been playing like Arma 3 a lot, if you've been playing these mill sims, these firefights are getting pretty intense. You know, you can place H barriers now, sandbags, to the point where it's like you feel like you're in an Arma 3 wasteland firefight, or even a Dayz fucking standalone firefight. Probably better than that, to be honest. And so that's all I have to say today about my favorite game this year is Rust. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I have lots more content coming for you in the coming year. I missed you, lovelies. Once again, big thank you to all you who supported our charity stream, raising $10K for our vets. I love you guys. Peace!